This is definitely the scariest American horror film I've ever seen. Adapted from the top 10 global terror bands, once released, it caused a psychological shadow for 7 million people, suffering from delisting and boycott. Story begins. A group of young people stay up at night, come to an abandoned castle to find excitement. As soon as you come in, Xiaomei will tell you a terrifying story about this ancient castle. It is said that there used to be a wealthy family living in the castle. They had a daughter with a strange personality, Sarah. Sarah doesn't like going out, always hiding in the room across the wall, telling horror stories to children outside. One day, all the children who had heard horror stories died. Everyone believes that this is Sarah's curse. Under immense public pressure, Sarah hanged herself. What's even more bizarre is that, after Sarah's death, his family also mysteriously disappeared. This ancient castle has become a murderous mansion. But these young people obviously don't believe in evil. Starting to wander around the house, they serendipity found the concealed grid behind the wall. This is Sarah's room. Xiaomei found Sarah's storybook, which is said to have been written in the blood of a child. Suddenly, a loud noise came from outside the door. It turned out to be a prank from a small thug in town, locked them in the room. But as a horror enthusiast, Xiaomei, completely indifferent to this small accident, instead, he picked up a storybook and asked Sarah to tell them a terrifying story. Here, a dark shadow slowly gathered, and helped them unlock the door. They left this ancient castle unharmed. Returning home, Xiaomei couldn't wait to open the storybook, read the stories in the book in one go. Suddenly discovered that the handwriting on the book was not dry. It seems like it was just written on. What's even more strange is that the protagonist in the story is also called Jack. Jack just returned home. Mom asked him to send eggs to his neighbors. When he passed by the cornfields, seeing an ugly scarecrow, I couldn't help but kick. Not far away, he saw the scarecrow just now again. Next, he goes around and around, like a ghost hitting a wall, several times passing by the scarecrow, until he circled back to his original location, found the scarecrow missing, can turn one's head. The scarecrow suddenly appeared in front of him. Jack was so scared that he turned around and ran away. I didn't take a few steps, tripped over another steel fork. He took the opportunity to lift a steel fork and thrust it at the scarecrow. However, the scarecrow pulled it out directly, stabbed into Jack's body at that time. He struggled to run out of the cornfield. The body began to continuously gush out straw. The face also quickly dried up, eventually transformed into the appearance of a scarecrow, forever hanging in the cornfield. The girl has a big pimple on her face. She's getting more crowded. The larger the acne, there seems to be something wriggling inside. Suddenly a black hair emerged. The girl wants to reach out and touch this hair. It actually started moving. Immediately after, countless spiders spewed out from inside, instantly crawling all over the body. Fortunately, Xiaomei and her team arrived in time to pour a bucket of water on it. That's what stopped the tragedy from happening. However, a storybook brought by Xiaomei from the haunted mansion. Writing horror stories on my own. Xiaomei panicked and tore at the leaves, but it couldn't stop the blood transfusion in the story. Go on like this. Sooner or later, it's their turn to find a way to deal with the curse. So a few people tried to investigate Sarah. I found out that Sarah used to live in a hospital. They came to this hospital. I planned to infiltrate the archives to find Sarah's past. Curly hair left outside, guard Xiaomei and Zira inside to find them. They found a phonograph cylinder, and learned from it a tragic past. So the deaths of those children have nothing to do with Sarah. It was the family's arbitrary discharge of sewage that killed them. They need a scapegoat. Sarah, who stays indoors all year round, is the best choice. They're trying to make Sarah take the blame, using all kinds of cruel means to torture her. Final. Sarah can't bear it. I chose to hang myself. The two learned the truth. Very sympathetic to Sarah's plight. But at this moment, new stories appear in the book. The protagonist of this time is waiting for the curls outside. Curly hair meets a big fat house with kind eyes. Although it doesn't seem very scary, but Curly was still scared, and turned around and ran away. But no matter how he runs, always unable to escape the monster's entanglement. Finally, he was held by a monster full of arms, melted into the monster's body. Wait for Xiaomei and Zira to come. Only one pen remains in place. 2 people were sent to the police station for being good at breaking into the archives. Xiaomei told the sheriff about the matter. The sheriff only thinks these 2 children haven't woken up yet. Put them directly in lockdown, and took away the storybook. But she found an extra story in the book. A gentle wipe. The handwriting on it is still wet. This time, the protagonist turns to Xiaohei. Countless half-walls pieced together a terrifying monster. The monster instantly twisted the sheriff's neck. Go straight to Little Black in the confinement room. The gap in the railing is too small, but even if the monster squeezes its head, better to dig in. Fortunately, at a critical moment, Xiaomei gets the key, open the prison door and escape. 2 people decide to divide the army into 2 routes. Xiaomei went to the room of Guila to find a way. Xiaohei drove away the monster. The monster quickly caught up. He jumped onto the roof, continuously smashing the car window with force. Xiaohei slammed the accelerator forward, stuck the monster in the middle, then rushed to the castle for support. Xiaomei comes to the ancient castle, shouts Sarah's name out loud. He himself believes that he did not harm those children. Suddenly the dilapidated house lit up. In an instant, He traveled back 100 years ago, replacing Sarah's identity, empathizing with Sarah's despair. He was forcibly locked into a small dark room. This is where Sarah was imprisoned. At this moment, Sarah's soul appeared. He approached step by step, Xiaomei, saying to tell him a story. Xiao Hei, who arrived at the castle, saw a book that had fallen to the ground, writing a story about Xiaomei. He hurriedly searched everywhere for Xiaomei's trace, come to Sarah's room, discovered the connection between two spacetimes. He quickly instructed Xiaomei, if you encounter Sarah, be sure to tell him, we found the truth. Xiaomei immediately said to Sarah. Xiaomei told Sarah, I know you died unjustly. I will write a story about everything you have encountered. I'll exonerate you. Resolve the resentment in your heart. Sarah chooses to believe in Xiaomei. She took out a pen. Let Xiaomei write the truth with her own blood. Hence, at the end of the story, leaving behind the story of Sarah's injustice and revenge, Sarah's wish has come true. Transformed into a wisp of green smoke, disappear without a trace. And the monster that caught up with Xiaomei was also torn apart. Xiaomei is holding that storybook to go to those friends who are searching for